Hey, Dan here for LockerGnome.com with a quick look at two new applications that might be of interest to you if you remember this machine. Going to be having a look at the summer 2010 updates from Cloanto of Amiga Forever 2010, and also we'll take a look at the new version of Commodore 64 Forever. Now, in case you're not familiar with the Amiga range of computers, they were originally developed by Commodore from 1985 to 1994 and released a variety of different models throughout this time to suit different markets, mainly finding acceptance in America in the high-end video and graphic workstation market, and in the UK and Germany in particular, being really popular home computers and also games consoles as well, mainly due to their really high-power graphics and sound chips for the time. When you look at the kind of graphics we're seeing on screen now, and you think that this was actually the era that the PC was bleeping at the DOS prompt and Macs was still black and white, and the Amiga had a really powerful preemptive multitasking operating system, it was really impressive for the time. Now, emulating the 1980s and early 90s 68K architecture and coprocessors of the original Amigas is a pretty simple job for a modern-day PC, and a company called Cloanto have been making this really nice, fully packaged, easy-to-use solution, including the still copyrighted Amiga OS and Kickstart ROMs for several years now, and we're currently taking a look at the latest version of Amiga Forever 2010. And Cloanto make it really simple to get straight into the emulation without any prior knowledge really, by offering a variety of pre-configured systems that you can just press play on, and then these little emulated virtual machines will pop up inside a window with fully pre-configured Amiga operating systems in there, including a lot of files that are already set up as well, and you can get straight in and explore you know, exactly what you would have seen in that era if you'd have bought one of those machines. Anything from the original 1985 Amiga 1000 all the way through the 90s, the Amiga 500 Plus and the Amiga 600 as well, up into the more modern versions such as the late 90s OS 3.9. They actually offer a fully configured version of that. You can get on the internet and a few programs loaded onto it too. And also they make it simple to download third-party, more modernized versions of the Amiga operating system, expansion packs like Amiga Sys and Amiga Kit that you can download from the internet just from clicking the little buttons in their virtual player machine here, making it really, really simple. Games were a massive selling point of the Amiga, particularly in Europe back in the late 80s and early 90s, and they do actually include a few big Amiga games like Kickoff 2 with Amiga Forever, but obviously if you want to get the cream of the crop you'll have to go searching around the internet. And since Amiga Forever is based on WinUAE virtual environment, it's really simple to insert disk images and get playing your favourite games from the past on this. Using the Amiga Forever player interface, it's really simple to either just play in a little window on your Windows desktop, or of course you can click the little button at the bottom, the maximise, and make it full screen. And there are a variety of ways to play, including mouse, keyboard, and if you've got a USB joystick like the USB version of the Competition Pro, plugging that in, it should be automatically recognised and let you play using that like you used to back in the day. Although gaming on the Amiga was definitely groundbreaking for the era, I think I was more attracted to the operating system and the applications that I grew up using on the Amiga operating system that really were some of the most creative apps I've ever used on a computer ever, including audio programs like Pro Tracker that of course you can run in the virtual Amiga environments on here, and also graphics programs like Dulux Paint and 3D rendering programs too, and also checking out some of the demos that originally drew me to the Amiga, including the Juggler. I remember seeing this in a shop and actually just drooling and thinking I need one of those machines. The famous Boing Ball demo. This one that was called Robot Town, if I remember correctly. Graphics programs like D-Paint that were really, really popular. Programming packages like Easy Amos. Although these programs are not actually included, you do get the foundations, the Amiga operating system, and then of course you can find a lot of the famous Amiga apps all over the web, and they're really simple to run inside Cloanto's Amiga Forever environment. If, however, you are more of a fan of the original 8-bit machines from Commodore, Cloanto also offer a package called Commodore 64 Forever that's presented very similarly to the Amiga version. However, it gives you a chance to emulate all of the classic 1980s 8-bit machines, including, of course, still the biggest selling home machine of all time, the Commodore 64, that sold 32 million units back in the 1980s. And also they give you a chance to emulate some of the more obscure Commodore machines, like the Commodore Plus 4 with its built-in software, the Commodore VIC-20, the Commodore PET, the Commodore 128 that also included a Commodore 64 mode as well that you can go into from typing Go 64. And like Amiga Forever, they also include various applications and programs, machine states, and also abandonware games. Although, like Amiga Forever, you'll probably want to start searching around the internet to find the really good Commodore 64 games. Though there are one or two really good titles included, including Kickstart, that was one of my favourite games as a kid. And like I mentioned before, by far the best way to enjoy these titles would be by buying a Competition Pro or similar USB joystick, as it was always kind of the way that we played them back then. Never really feels the same playing them with the keys. But if you want to get some memories of what it was like maybe when you were growing up, or if you were not fortunate enough to actually grow up in the 8-bit or 16-bit era and would like to experience some of these titles as well, Commodore 64 Forever and Amiga Forever both offer really affordable and very simple solutions to enjoying that era of computing all over again. And also, rather than having outdated hardware cluttering up your house, you can just, you know, boot these CDs, play whenever you want to play the classic games and applications, and then put it away completely hassle-free. Commodore 64 Forever and Amiga Forever 2010 are available from Cloanto now.